It's not yet. It says not yet. Oh, we live. We are live. We are live. We are live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. This is CNC SciFi Grill. I'm one
Woo.
of your hosts, Drake Konos. To my, I guess that's to my left, is my brother, Big Nate. And down below is my lovely daughter, Christina. And today we are going to talk about DC's attempt to make a sequel to a film that I had no problems with, which was Wonder Woman, and that is Wonder Woman 1984. Now, I'm gonna come off the bat and just say there's gonna be spoilers. This movie has been on HBO Max and in theaters since Christmas. And me and Christina's little sister went to go see it in IMAX, which was fine. But I'm gonna say that this movie, I take it more akin to the first Captain America, where it's slow. The first hour is so slow.
And the immortal.
Literally, going back so I could see the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize the movie was 2.5 hours long. Like
It didn't even need to be 2.5 hours long. It did
They
not.
could have cut it by like at least 45 minutes to an hour.
I think they could have cut it 30 and they'd been okay. I know they was trying to make a blockbuster, but yeah, that was
it's not Endgame. It doesn't need to be that long.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. What? Go ahead.
In the immortal words of Tony Baker, what in the haberdasheries and hemoglobin is going on here? Wales 90 seconds into the show, and I don't know where it went. And then the left at the curb, and
now the first 10 minutes was kind of cool because you get reintroduced to Diana or Wonder Woman, and she goes and stops these robbers, and there's a little girl sitting there that she saves, and she winks at the little girl, and that was cute.
That the little cute nerdy black girl was more exciting than 70% of the movie.
First of all, ain't nobody seen how the hair no metahuman, and they see this woman coming in kicking everybody's butt, and this still pisses me off in these superhero movies. Why you start shooting at these things and ain't no bullets working on them, but you gonna keep shooting like, oh well, I'm gonna get that one shot off.
They're like stormtroopers. If they just keep shooting, something will happen.
And they would have got away with it if old boy hadn't grabbed a kid. And that was funny to me. Was the other dudes was like, "What are you doing?" No.
That wasn't even how it kicked off. It kicked off because he was an idiot and was fumbling around with a bag for whatever reason and dropped a gun in the middle of a mall.
And that lady screamed. That lady let out a scream, and I was just like, I mean, I'm sorry. The best part was the black kid. Even the fight scene when she flew in. I said,
she didn't fly. She used the lasso to come in.
I mean, lassoed in. Okay, all right, lassoed in.
She still can't fly, which is the stupidest thing ever. It's been 70 years. She still can't fly.
So then my problem is she lassos in. She swings in like George of the Jungle. And it's just... and I didn't like the fight scene. I agree with Christina. Him bumbling was actually idiot. I mean, you made him be idiot. But my thing is, I get they had to lay the foundation early about the antiquities. I understand they had to bring it in. But that was the most awkward laying of the essential part of the plot I've ever seen in my life. It was just awkward.
And if you look at the producers, it's the Snyders, who we all know have been a big part of the DC universe. He made directed and produced Man of Steel, and then he did Batman v Superman, and then he also did Justice League, and he's been slowly going downhill since Man of Steel. Now, granted, Patty Jenkins is who wrote this, and she wrote the first one, and she directed the first one, and she was fine. I don't understand what happened here, and I don't know if she just lost direction or if he had too much. If the
creative control, too many cooks in the kitchen spoils the stew.
And I'm worried about Aquaman 2 now. I'm worried about Aquaman 2.
Side note, I just want to get rid of Amber Heard. That's all I want. Then I will go freaking see Aquaman. I literally have refused to see Aquaman because she's in that damn movie. I have not seen Aquaman at all.
Yes, and she basically lied on her husband. Her husband got in trouble. And then it came out she lied and nobody did anything. And he's been blackballed by Hollywood. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
I'm so upset.
Poor Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp didn't do nothing except take her abuse. But I digress. We concentrate on Wonder Woman, not Amber Heard and Aquaman. You should. I know you don't want to see her, but you should see Aquaman. Aquaman is excellent film. And I didn't even know that was Amber Heard. I just the chick in it. Yeah, I didn't know what it was. But so during all that, there's a stone that's in there. It's called the Wishing Stone or something like that. And it comes up that it was made by one of the gods, one of the evil gods. And it's basically like a monkey's paw, but it only grants one wish. Although somehow Barbara got two.
Yeah.
And he even said, I can only grant one wish, but somehow Barbara got two.
Both of hers.
Well,
I didn't get that. But I was thinking that maybe what happened is like when he was doing the stream, he gave up like one of the things that he requested and like gave it to her or something.
And that's what I was saying. Yes, she got two because he requested something. You have to give something up in return.
Yeah.
And giving something up in return, he said, hey, Dave, there you go. I'll have at it.
Yeah.
And I just, okay, so then the Wishing Stone came.
Well, no. We were introduced to Cheetah, who is Barbara, who is Kristen Wiig, who I think did a good job.
Wait,
for what she was given.
We
go back.
In before we gotta stay right here in the story.
Okay.
Because I'm so frustrated with an issue.
What's that?
This is an issue that I have with DC more than any other group.
Taking that off because I got a glare.
Yeah. I don't understand. And it's not just DC because Star Wars did it too. They did it with Padme, where Padme was the bomb
for the first two movies.
Heroine, and then all of a sudden
damsel in distress.
She turned her into a damsel in distress.
Well, Barbara Barbara was she was basically Catwoman from the second Batman, as far as she was just pitiful.
I'm talking about Diana.
Yeah, Diana, was it damsel in distress or I've only gonna love one man and it's been 70 years and I can't find another man.
But that still goes into damsel in distress. It still goes.
It hadn't even been 70. I think it had been like 40 years.
No, it's been 70. It was the First World War. It was the First World War.
Yeah.
It's been 70 years and she's still, Steve, I need a man to complete me.
No, not any man. Steve. She needs
it has to Trevor. Be Trevor. I was a woman and I was like, what in the blue blazes is this? Why did they make her into this sappy puddle of goo?
I mean, even in the beginning when she was a kid, and because that was really the beginning, it wasn't the whole thing in the mall. Really, in the beginning, it was her when she was like maybe Angel's age. She was like 10, and she competed in the Amazonian games.
Right.
And what got me is so it was a lesson on you can't cheat to win, basically. But I was like, is that really cheating or was that using your brain?
Literally, she used what was at her disposal and still finished. Like, why did they take that away from
I
her? That's
think it's because she didn't hit the last target.
She didn't hit the last target.
If she had hit the last target and then slid down the thing, she might have been okay, but that was still Boulder Dash because in a fight, most people aren't going to tell. I mean, I guess it was an honorable, so you shouldn't have won. Like you wasn't going to win, so we had to snap you away. It was crap. It was a crap excuse. And then what was with all the other Amazonians? It was like she was like a bastard child or something because they was eyeballing her like,
and not literally
what
like
are you doing here?
Like, are you serious? Absolutely.
Aren't they all supposed to be sisters in arms and
absolutely
like,
idiotic?
And they were just looking at her like, ugh.
How dare you?
Can I interject?
Yes.
Remember, she's the queen's daughter. She's being treated specially. They keep hyping her up to say that she's unique and different. And I wasn't mad at the eye roll, and I wasn't mad about that. Again, it's an awkward laying of necessary parts of the plot. They have to be able to show that she learned the hard way early in life that the truth is the only way.
80 years ago, she learned that you can't cheat to win.
Again, no. They have to put it as her part of her foundation early in life because that's part of the plot line. I get it.
The truth will set you free.
Right. Hold on. I'm waiting for Rafiki to come out.
Things are good, but they can always be better.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I get that you got to lay necessary plot foundation. I get it.
Understand. Just do better.
But it was so awkward, and that's my point. Is that why is all of this so awkward? I felt like, to me, this reminded me of the first dance in 6th grade where all the boys are standing over there and all the girls are standing over there and everybody's awkward and have no idea how to come say hello to each other.
I'm glad you said that. Was all the men in this movie other than Steve sexist pigs?
Yes.
And
welcome to the 80s, I guess. I don't
know. Me and Nate grew up in the 80s.
I don't know.
It was not like that. It was no way you was walking. There was no way you was walking through a party and people kept yelling at you like that. Like every dude tried to talk to Diana, and I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
Really?
This was the most. That was another one of the plot lines. You wanted to show that the awkward Betty that was going to turn into this beautiful lioness, but because she was abused, it created a negative turn of her personality. I get these, you're laying plot foundations, but this was so awkward.
She was still gullible as hell. For somebody that's so intelligent, she was gullible as hell.
Well, I mean, I do.
Honestly, like, knowing that, like, stereotype and how it is very often portrayed, I expected her to be gullible because this is, like, her first attention from a man. Like, of course, she's going to listen to everything he has to freaking say. But it's also just like, you're so much smarter than this.
But it reminded me, and Christina, I don't know if you've watched those, the second Batman, that's how Catwoman's character was. And the Halle Berry Catwoman movie, that's how she was at the beginning. Until she turned into Catwoman. It's like DC just says, okay, all these badass females are going to be these dopes at first, these dopey nerds. And then all of a sudden something's going to happen. Somebody's going to treat them wrong, get them shot out a window, whatever. And they turn into, I don't like this anymore.
Down a pipe, you know, all that stuff.
But I got to go back. Why, after you make a strong woman hero character, do you have to soften her up and make her a sap that can only make it with the help of a man when you do a sequel?
And he had to force her to let him go. That was the only way she was going to get her. Because, okay, so like we said, the wishing stone is a monkey's paw. So in other words, you get what you want, but you lose something. She was losing her powers. And at first, I thought she was losing her powers because Barbara had wished she was like Diana.
I thought that too.
I thought that's why, but it was Steve. And I'm like,
Steve.
and the way they brought back Steve, people, he basically inhabited somebody else's body.
So you did a Ghost. You went to the movie that was supposed to be romantic and Ghost. What in the world? He just inhabits another dude's body.
And everybody but Diana sees him as this other dude.
And no one that he knows cares at all.
They go in that man's house, eat all his Pop-Tarts. She has sex with this man. Dude don't even know. And then one of the reviews I had seen, somebody was like, I was wondering if the guy was gay. And I'm like, ooh, that makes it even worse.
Yikes.
That makes a whole sub.
If you think about the clothes, and I don't mean to be stereotypical, but if you think about the clothes he had in his wardrobe and his mannerism at the end when he shows up after Steve is gone.
And he did walk away from her. He didn't try to knock her down.
Nope. And the way he had his scarf, and all that stuff, I was like, I wonder. They had a very valid point.
If he was gay and she's been all over him for the last however long,
2-3 days. 3 days.
So you didn't turn this man against what he was. You didn't stole his body. You done stole his house. You done women.
Where's his soul? Where's the guy's soul?
Where's his buddies? Here's the thing, Cliff. If you got inhabited and walked past me, I'd be like, dude, where you going? Hello?
You don't see me? Yeah, you see me. I see you. You see me.
Yeah.
Why'd you have to point that out? That just makes me sad.
72 hours.
You gotta look at the clothes he had. You gotta look at the things. There were subtle clues that said that he might have been of the other persuasion.
The shirt I could see because it's like floofy, but like that. Did they not wear that? Did straight guys not wear that in the 80s? Yikes.
We did not do that. Okay, I will take that back. There are people that had fanny packs, but they were considered nerds. They weren't trendy. They weren't, like that.
Ain't nobody wearing no fanny packs even in the 80s that were like, cool and weird.
No. How about the fact he ain't never seen no garbage can before? You telling me you couldn't guess that was a garbage can instead of art?
Art,
seriously?
bro.
He goes up to the garbage can and he looks at it and goes, and he's staring at it because she had said everything in there was art because he saw the people break dancing. He saw some people tagging stuff.
So I get, again, you've got to bring in the wishing stone. And again, these parts of necessary elements of the story and the foundation of the plot. I get it. I'm there. But again, it was the most awkward. You got to bring Steve back. So now he is straight exorcist inhabiting other people's bodies. I was waiting for a Catholic priest to come out and be like, and start throwing the holy water. I was like, what?
Why? Okay, so the stone is powerful enough to bring his spirit back from the dead, but not bring him back in a body other than somebody else's? The stone literally
into a goddamn panther, but it can't bring somebody's body back?
It turned somebody that was basically disintegrated because he did die in the first movie. His plane blew up because he was carrying the bombs, and brought him back as, in somebody else's body, as Nate said, as a ghost, basically. As a ghost. He's a ghost. He's basically a ghost, and only she can see him. Because at first he was talking to her and she was like, no. And then he said something. She's like, wait, how do you know that? I'm like, it's not like he's the only person in the world that would have said something like that, but still,
And then only she can see the blue-eyed, handsome Steve Trevor that is inhabiting another human's body.
So what happens in the end is that Max Lord, who is actually played by Pedro Pascal, as we all know as Mr. Mandalorian.
Realize that was him because he looks so great. So props to their makeup.
But he basically stole the movie.
Oh,
he didn't just steal it. He carried it.
But did y'all also notice that he was basically playing Trump? He was a con man that didn't get anything done. He was basically a con man that promised all this stuff and everything kept falling down around him. They was making a play at that too, in a subtle way.
Everything.
Yes. But he loves his son. Oop, did I say that? I'm sorry.
Does he love his son? Does he really?
He does. I mean, in the end, you see that he does, which is just so. Anyway, he ends up. What? What's up? What's up? What? What's up? Come on.
Trying to look for some
what
flag on the play.
What happened?
First off, again, not only was I confused about these necessary plot, foundations. And I'm not saying that there's not mixed kids in 1984. There's a bunch of mixed kids in 1984.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to talk about that.
But I'm not understanding where the Asian kid came from.
From the what is he, Brazilian or
Brazilian, Spaniard?
Literally, I was like, that's your kid?
And I'm like, and you got the Asian kid.
I got an example. Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World. Dad. Everybody's like, where you get that little black girl from?
I'm not saying there's not mixed kids in 84. We knew some mixed kids in 84. But that kid didn't look like he was mixed with no Brazilian.
Or whatever Pedro is. Whatever Max Lord was. He did not. He was straight up Asian.
Not at all.
He was straight up Asian.
That was an Asian. So I said, wait. So, okay, I kept pausing the movie because I kept saying, when are they going to straighten up and get back on the tracks? So we had all these loopholes. Steve then stole somebody's body. She got robbed of a dog when she was trying to win the championship at 10 or 12 or whatever. So I'm like, this is a loophole. Bringing back this doggone dude from the dead is a loophole. She's walking, you'd have made this beautiful heroine now a weeping, sobbing mess for 80 years because she fell in love with Trevor and could never find another decent man. And now then I'm like, so the Spaniard or Spanish in some way man has this completely 100% looking Asian kid, not even remotely mixed. And I'm like, this is not getting any better.
It'd have been more point if he just showed up with Grogu and just said, "Yes, this is my son."
That would have been so much better.
This is the way, but it could always be better.
That would have been dope.
So he was basically the main villain. It was two villains. And Barbara wasn't really a good villain. She was just confused and angry because of how her life had treated her. She was
like freaking Carrie. Like, everyone mistreats me and now I'm Grr. Literally, that's what she was like.
Yes, what is the one drunk guy that tried to rape her? How does he end up around the corner from where he raped her 3 nights before? He's at the same spot, still drinking. Like he ain't learned nothing from when Diana kicked his ass.
But he did change his tie.
That shows that time has passed.
Right.
And she proceeds to beat his ass.
And of course it was the homeless man that stopped her.
Yes, the homeless black guy who was her friend was like, "Barbara, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Mind your business."
Again, flag on the play.
Are you going to talk about the magical Negro now? The magical
Negro is in every movie the black homeless dude. Like, first off, why we always gotta be homeless? But secondly, why is he always the voice
of a reason?
He's the voice of reason in every movie.
Even with Max Lord, he had the black sidekick guy that worked for him that was kind of like a voice of reason. Like, dude, we can't do this. We can't do this like this.
Why?
So Max Lord gets his power by he basically becomes a wishing stone, but I think he was slowly dying. That was his monkey's paw. He became the wishing stone, but he was dying at the same time.
if a god had created that, like, wouldn't you be like why wouldn't you put in some clause like you have with a genie? Like, no wishing for more wishes. You can't become, like, someone can't become the stone. Like,
yes. So basically, he goes around trying to get as many people to make as many wishes, but he has to be touching them. And they have to say, I wish for stuff to happen. Like, he went to, lost Christina.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So he goes to Egypt and basically makes the prince of that area wish that his land was back in his control. And so the Great Wall of Egypt just pops out of nowhere and cuts off the whole country. Now that is a monkey's paw for you.
The Great Wall of Egypt.
But here's the issue. But remember, he said he didn't say just in his control. He said it was in control.
Ancestors or something.
Right, his ancestors' control. So some dude was like, "This is all my land," and he cut off everybody, the poorest part of the country, away from everybody else. So they're starving, they're hungry, and some dude is saying, "This is my land." And so now the people are like, "What did
Max Lord took his security force? He took his security
That was hella funny.
because the guy didn't want to pay him.
What
And
else?
Max Lord was like, "Okay, well, you know what? I'll take your security force because every time you gave a wish, you had to give something up."
But you know what though? That was funny.
That was hilarious. The guy was like, "Wait, where y'all going? Wait,
No. So that was hilarious. But what was more hilarious? Gee, all these explosions are down the road. I'm gonna let my kids play in the middle of this highway.
For real? Like, y'all got used to explosions? Y'all good?
I didn't think Egypt was like. I know Beirut was bad back in the 80s, but I didn't think Egypt was that bad, and it still isn't that bad as far as I know. But you just gonna let you hear explosions. You see these cars. You could certainly see those cars because it's the desert. You can see them coming down the road. What?
Thinking that ball was important. Ridiculous.
So during all this,
important.
somehow,
Ridiculous.
So they figure out, Max Lord. They're trying to get the stone. So they try to go to Egypt, Diana and Steve, to get the stone. So he steals a jet from the Smithsonian.
No.
One question, people.
She steals a jet from the Smithsonian.
But he flew it. One question. How does a World War I pilot that only flew biplanes know how to fly a jet?
Because, the basic premise.
No, sir. There's so much difference between a fighter jet.
70 years.
Yes, there's so much difference.
Probably ever touched is now like a button or a switch.
He did have the whole point. He did have the whole point where they brought in the one curse word when he was flying, and she's like, "Oh yeah, there might be radar," and he was like, "Well, shit, Diana."
Yeah, that was funny.
But so this is how she gets the invisible jet. And Nate had taken a hailer because I'm about to talk about this. So basically, she has the power from Zeus, her dad, to make things invisible, but she has only done it with a coffee mug. So now, whether in this fighter jet,
Yes. She did it with a coffee mug and then lost the coffee mug.
Also, Zeus having the power to turn things in what?
Well, it is Zeus. Zeus did have a lot of power. Zeus, he was the god of gods. He was the elder god at the time.
God of gods because he was the one that happened to kick his ass. No, Zeus is the god of light. Like, Zeus is not all powerful. He's not Jesus.
I thought he was the all father like Odin was.
No. He just happened to be in charge because he was the oldest and because
the three siblings
the one who was able to beat
up Kronos.
He was
able to beat up Kronos. Yeah.
That was the only reason that he was in charge.
Well, evidently, all the gods got all these powers. So she's trying to
power of invisibility. If anything, that would have been like Hermes or something.
So she makes the plane invisible using these powers. Steve is still somehow able to fly the plane that's invisible. I guess it wasn't invisible on the inside, but it was invisible on the outside. And since when did the Smithsonian, which is where they stole it from, have a airport tower?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Big Nate.
they are trying to foil a plot, and they take time to fly through fireworks.
Mm-hmm. How about why did the Smithsonian have a freaking runway? Since when does the Smithsonian have a runway?
Since when
Don't
is the
they tow the
Smithsonian
plane
airport? It's a museum.
And then so like 45 minutes of the movie is Steve getting acclimated with the world he's in. Because he's like, oh, we went to the moon.
10 minutes.
Oh yeah, they could have cut that down to 10 minutes, you know. And then she was like, oh, I don't have any TVs. That's what she told Max Lord, because he was a telemarketer basically on TV. So he was one of those television hosts, you know. And come to find out, she has like 20 TVs that she monitors all the stuff around the world, which I'm trying to figure out how she gets to everything in time. If she doesn't fly, I guess she just jumps everywhere using a freaking lasso like freaking Tarzan.
Also, we'll probably get to it later, but her lassoing onto lightning. What?
That's what she did in the original movie, though. Well, no, did she? No, she didn't lasso it.
Wild.
She rode it or something.
She rode it. She didn't lasso it.
Well, it is the lasso of truth, and it has all these properties that we don't.
Her father is the god of thunder and lightning, or whatever the hell he is. Yes.
Yeah.
And invisibility. And
apparently,
he's also the god of invisibility. I mean, how else did he sneak up and have all those babies on Earth?
I could talk for mythology for hours.
So Max Lord ends up going to the president, which, oh God. So he ends up getting control of some things. And why is Elijah fighting with the new dog? But anyway, so he ends up going to the president and getting control of basically the president asks for more nukes than the Russians have. And all of a sudden we have all these new nukes. And then Russia goes, well, you got all these new nukes. We're going to start attacking. I'm like, that makes no sense. Why would you start attacking?
Wait. It did make sense because not only did those new nukes pop up, they were all armed.
Yeah.
And that was why Diana freaked out when she found out who made that stone. Because when he would do things, he would do them in an aggressive way. So yes, he would grant your wish, but in granting your wish, he would always take something and set you on a path of aggression, if you notice that. And so, yes, they gave them all new nukes, but they didn't just lie them dormant. They were all armed and ready to go.
Monkey's paw.
So all of a sudden, USSR is like, whoa, they got 200 nukes and they were already armed. Well, we have to arm too. So that escalated. That part I was okay with.
I'm also confused because what pantheon is this? What Greek god is an evil god? Which one?
I could have seen if they tried to use
None of them.
Ares, the god of war. I could have seen if they tried to do that.
I thought that was Ares.
Oh,
that
was
Ares.
Son of a gun. That was Ares.
Ares.
I'm trying to think who was the god of the dead. Oh my God.
Hades?
Yeah, Hades. I could see maybe they tried to use Hades.
Yes, I could see that. But
in the original TV show, not the TV show, but the cartoon, Hades was her dad and not Zeus.
What?
Yeah, Hades was her father.
Interesting.
And
but
that was on Justice League. That was on Justice League. Hades was her father. It was either Ares or Hades. One of them was her dad. I can't remember who.
It would make more sense if it was Ares. I don't think it's.
Was it Ares?
It would make more sense if it was Ares. Because she's
maybe
like,
it was Ares.
But also, like, there's in Greek mythology, the gods aren't evil.
They're just assholes.
They're just assholes because they're more human than like most of the other religious like leaders, I guess.
And they have faults, and they don't see the faults.
They wouldn't just like, I'm just gonna make something to destroy the human race. Like that's not something that they would do.
But again, in its alternate universe called this second movie, which was an alternate universe of nonsense.
Not wrong.
I mean, but yes, so now not only is she riding lightning, but they're making up Greek gods that we've never heard of. And now we have an evil god that was just evil and awful and horrible that they never named the god's
They
name.
didn't. And that's what I was looking for because they were like, "Oh, it was one of the evil gods." What are you talking? What evil god? What?
Well, wait a minute, people. There was now. I know it wasn't Hades, but Hades was evil. I mean, he did kidnap Persephone for 6 months. No, Hades. Remember, Hades kept her in the underworld for 6 months.
I'm
He
not
did
saying,
kidnap her.
I'm not saying there weren't evil gods. They never named the evil god.
This is
Yeah, I just would have wanted to know, like, who was this supposed god that created this item?
maybe it was a minor god. I don't know the whole pantheon for the Greeks. There are plenty of minor gods, though.
Yeah,
There are a lot of minor gods. I agree with you.
and there are demigods who do things.
And it could have been. What did they say for sure? It was a Greek god, or was it one of the other?
One of the evil gods. And if we're like, I don't know. It just didn't. They just kind of like blamed it on the gods, and I'm like, pick a pantheon. Like, which gods are we talking about? Like when we're talking about Thor,
the evil gods.
we're
It's
talking
the
about
evil
Norse
ones. It's the
mythology.
evil ones.
I mean, but they made a song saying blame it on the liquor. I mean, they just blamed it. They didn't say which liquor. Blame it on the alcohol. You know, so they just picked. They just said just do the gods. That's it.
So after they do that, they take Max Lord because he has control of the military, or not the military. Yeah, he has control of Air Force 2, which is the helicopter. I think it's Air Force.
For real.
Yeah. So they take him to a secret base, which has this telecommunication array where he's able to broadcast, where evidently the United States is working on a communication array that will supersede anything. You can basically cut into any broadcast and radio station. Go ahead.
Yeah, but not only did it said you could break in any radio station or any broadcast,
computer,
but that it had particles that could touch
everyone.
Everybody. What particles are you talking about? Atoms?
Well, it depends. If you're talking about the hoteps, then that is the crystals that you use to keep yourself aligned for your chakras.
For your chakras?
That is the only way. Namaste. That is the only way you can keep yourself in line.
It's the Force.
Yes. It used the midichlorians. It was the midichlorians.
And that's what I'm saying. I would have rather had Grogu come out and go, I'm waiting for it. Particles. So that was, I paused this movie like 10 times because I kept saying, huh?
What?
So Max Lord, he gets to the thing and he starts broadcasting. He cuts in on computers and all kinds of things. And he's sitting there and he's making people. He's not making them. People are just wishing. Like one guy was fighting with this Scottish guy was fighting with this English lady, and the English lady says, "I wish you go back. I wish they ship you all." This was back when Ireland. I'm sorry, it's Irish. It was back when Ireland and England, was basically the Irish were not liked in England. So she was like, "I wish they'd come and wrap all you Irish pricks up." And the police showed up to take him away, and he was like, "I wish you dropped dead." And she had a heart attack.
Literally,
the longest heart attack I've ever seen before in my life.
Yeah, that was,
because she was on the floor dying for a good 10, 20 minutes.
I mean, but when he said, "I wish you dropped dead," and she went, "Oh," I said, "Oh, yeah." That was so I said, damn.
So basically, everybody across the world is wishing for these things. The only way to stop this, and this is what Diana found out, was when Steve, and this is going to be Nate's point, when Steve forced her to rescind her wish to get her powers back.
I can't live without you.
Woman, if you don't go about yourself.
Okay. So I'm sitting there, and she's a slobbering idiot. She's a slobbering, blithering idiot. And the man has to grab her by the face and say, Diana, you have to be better. You have to let me go. You have to let me go. What? I'm like, why? First off, why did he go to the William? I know he played the Captain James T. Kirk, but when did he go to the William Shatner School of... You have to let me go.
The hamming.
What? I was so like...
All in all, the actors did the best they could with what they had. Pedro carried the movie.
Chris Pine deserves so much better.
Christina Wig, I think, really did good in the role that she was given.
But again, why did they reduce her to a blithering idiot that a man has to save? She's losing her powers. She can't fight anymore. She's weak. And he realized
she couldn't even break a lock. She couldn't break a padlock.
But again, she's a brilliant scientist.
She's literally a goddess.
And she couldn't figure out that her wish was what was draining her powers.
She didn't care. She got back Steve in somebody else's body that she's raping. She doesn't care.
No, she got stupid because there was a man around and somebody wrote it that a man had to save her.
I can't think Patty Jenkins, as strong as she made her in the first movie, would have written her to be this sappy.
That's why I said too many cooks. She didn't write it, but she had too many influences. And why did you reduce this amazing heroine who literally turned the tide of World War I to a sap, kissing her man going,
I can't let you go.
I can't do it. What? And it's the same thing that they did with Padme.
Oh, wait. In Padme's defense, in the third movie, she was pregnant. What was she gonna do in the third movie? She's pregnant.
Stop it.
Some sense in a fucking Anakin?
That's what she's pregnant. You got less patience. She should have bitch smacked his ass from the left to the right.
Oh, I can't save you. Shut your ass up.
Of throwing a tantrum, she would have slapped him.
That's what I'm saying. She 9 months pregnant. They're trying to hold me down. I was waiting for her to come from the hip. Well, pow! But again, they downgrade her down to this sappy, I need a man.
You're going down a path I can't go. I
can't let you go. I can't let you go. No, Steve. No, Steve. No. I almost paused the TV and smacked it myself. Pull yourself together, woman.
Now, I will tell y'all this. I will say this.
Right.
This was released on Christmas Day on HBO Max and in theaters. I decided to take Angel because this was the first superhero movie. She went to me and said, Daddy, I want to go see this. And I was like, okay, fine. We'll go to IMAX and see it. So we went and saw it, and she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the most part. I likened it again to the first Captain America that was just slow. And the first Captain America had more action than this movie. But when we got home, we put it on HBO Max because I wanted to see some other stuff about it. And Angel sat there and she's like, well, this just isn't the same.
Yikes.
Because no, what I'm saying is she was like, Daddy, it's not the same as being in the movies. No. And that's something that a lot of people, I think, don't, with this COVID going around, they don't understand. The studios understand, but you know, people are missing out on just the experience.
They decide to put all the movies on HBO Max and piss off literally everyone in the entertainment industry.
But they're gonna release them back. And I mean, what can they do? They gotta release these movies. They put money into these. They gotta try to get people on their stream. They gotta do something while half the country movie theaters are not open. They gotta do something.
You've got whole states like mine that won't open up anything. And so the movie theaters, like you're down there and you have some movie theaters.
All of ours are open. They only doing 40% capacity, but they open.
Right. Versus I haven't seen a movie. Me, Elijah and I were avid moviegoers. We went to see a movie every weekend. We haven't seen a movie since March. It's January. Because I mean, and if I go over to Texas, which I could drive over to El Paso and go see
COVID Central.
Right, for real. But the problem is that, even if I did that, then I've got a quarantine for 2 weeks because we wanted to go see Wonder Woman 84. So
you would have been even more upset because you had to quarantine for a stupid movie.
You would have been so mad.
You would have got back home, looked at the dog, and said, "Dog, do you know what I just went and saw?"
Okay, now I'm gonna tell you something. Now I need to address something I think I differ than the two of you with.
What's that?
Kristen Wiig,
Mm-hmm.
when she kicked Diana's butt at and they were at the White House.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was dopey, dope.
Yeah.
That made me happy.
Yes.
But then, wait, no, we about to go different directions.
Okay.
But when Max turns around and diverts one of his wishes to give it, well, the stuff he
To
gets
make her more powerful. To make her unlike anything ever seen before.
And then she turns into this damn cat.
She's literally a cat.
And so that took me back.
You went from basically a demigod to a cat.
And so,
well, and then in the
wait, you gotta let me
go ahead.
My point is this: she's a god. She's a goddess. She's kicking butt. She done bust out. She's got the clothes. She's got the moxie. And I'm finally like, okay, they gotta let a woman, be this powerful role. And then they turn her back to a feline, turning it back to another weaker woman when she was a strong woman. Why did you take her away from being a strong woman to make her this silly looking cat that's flying in the air? I said, this looks ridiculous. She was a badass just 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because, she requested to be like an apex predator, which implies...
You couldn't have done that without turning into this nonsensical looking cat.
Well, if y'all remember back, CJ probably won't know this, but back when Justice League and before Justice League, Super Friends, Cheetah didn't look like a cheetah. She just had on a costume with those powers. I don't remember where she got the powers from a god. I can't remember where, but she didn't get powers.
Damn cheetah.
No, but she didn't. All she had was a cheetah costume, and that's why they called her Cheetah. Because she found something. She was an archaeologist and she found a stone or something and it gave her powers. And she ended up, having the powers of a cheetah and all this stuff. And that's why she dressed like a cheetah. She was not, in Christina's defense, she was not a bloody cheetah. And that was okay CGI. It looked better in IMAX and in the theaters than it did probably on your screens. And then she was defeated so easily after like 2-3 minutes.
You made her an apex predator and she got her ass beat in 5 minutes.
And she was beating Diana before in the White House.
Before that.
Granted, Diana did not have her powers. Diana did not have.
That feeds into the be careful what you wish for thing, I guess.
No, because Diana, in defense, Diana did not have all her powers at that time. Steve was still there doing what he was doing.
Also, but going back to that fight scene in particular, the suit that she had on for all of 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
With the wings? What are you? What?
Well, see,
those wings were able to withstand a full army of men, but it got beat by a cheetah lady with claws. What?
Well, that's because the full army of men did not have the power of an apex predator.
Literally,
she at you. I'm just telling you what happened. You are correct. So Diana has this armor by a Amazonian that stayed behind to protect all the other Amazons when they left with Themyscira. From, I guess, I don't know why all the men revolted, because me and Nate would be fine with a world of Amazons. I don't know why y'all attacking the Amazons. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all got problems. So they and I'm sorry, I'm acting like the guys in the movie that was just catcalling, but
no. Mm-hmm. I'm just taking one for the team. I ain't catcalling.
So they
I'm trying to help out, bro. I'm just trying to help out.
She held off them while the other Amazonians fled, and the only thing Diana could find, this was hundreds and thousands of years ago, only thing Diana could find was the armor. This comes up later in the after credits, which was an homage to the 1970s Wonder Woman, because the heroine, who is still alive, was Linda Carter, who was the original Wonder Woman, who at the age of 69 looks dang on good. It doesn't look like she barely aged a day.
I was like, who
I
are
don't
you?
know
You look
who her
great.
plastic surgeon is, if she had
That
plastic
looks like
surgery.
Diana's mother. Like,
Yeah, she looked better than Diana's mother, who's been in a movie for like only she was in both movies, and she aged between those movies. She got some city miles on her between the first movie and 84. But yeah, so that was the after credit scenes. It was like 3 minutes after a couple credits, and it popped up, and she saving a little baby from a falling pole that just happened to fall. She stopped it from falling, but it was a nice little. And she turned around, and I think I was clapping, and Angel sitting there like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "That's the original Wonder Woman. That's the one I grew up with. The one that used to spin." She spun when she turned around to look at the lady, which was what she used to do on the TV show to turn into Wonder Woman.
Her little cape moving. It was so cute. It was adorable.
But for a 69-year-old lady, she looked pretty good, and she was, she's still strutting her stuff. But all in all, I would say watch the movie on HBO Max when you get a chance. Just turn off your brain. If you can't turn off your brain, which I know a couple of my friends can't, like Michael Perry, he can't turn off his brain. You can't. You are not going to enjoy it, because there are so many holes, as Nate and Christina and I have led to. There's just so many logic leaps. Steve leaves that body, and she goes and runs off, and then she runs into the guy at the end of the movie, and he's none the wiser.
Fuck you, Steve.
And he's just sitting there, and he's like, "I feel like I've met you before." Yeah, you were boning him like 3 freaking days ago, and he didn't know. Yes, sir.
We skipped the whole subject.
Which one?
After she got her powers and she's last sawing, she
electrocuted the lady.
She
made cat soup.
Not before we electrocuted cat soup. She's turning around. She listens to what Steve said about riding the air.
Oh, yeah.
And now she can fly.
All of a sudden.
Fly. Hold on. And she's got to get the pose now. She's got to get the pose.
The superhero pose.
Like, while I was watching that, I was like, why are you in a superhero pose? Just fly. Just fly. Like,
so before she was just doing super jumps. Now she can fly.
Now she can fly. Wait. And then she lassos the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And the lightning helps her move around in the air. Then she catches another wind current and goes and flies some more. And I'm watching this, and Elijah's sitting behind me like, "Daddy, I told you it wasn't good," because I just kept doing this. Like, what?
Well, he sits there and reads spoilers. He reads spoilers. He ain't seen the movie.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, when did he see? He saw it with his mom. He saw it.
He went and saw it with mom, and him and his brother was like, "This sucked," and mom fell asleep.
Nice.
So
that was bad when mom falls asleep.
So then, and she's like a Wonder Woman fan, and she fell asleep, and the boy said it sucked. So the point is,
yikes.
And so my point is that I'm watching this, then she lands, she stops, gets the armor, then she gets going, and now she gets there, and now she's fighting this ridiculous looking cat, and the cat breaks an armor that was able to stop off thousands of men in like 5 minutes.
Vikings.
And
in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes. Like that. Like, are you serious? Absolutely stupid.
Now, I will say this: out of all the things that I can't say I didn't like it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm saying, I just kept going, why did they do
you literally called me 5 minutes into watching it. You were like, "Dude, is this really how they brought him back?" I'm like, man, don't even start. You're not
ready.
Yeah, I already started. I was like, wait, what? I literally paused and was like, "Cliff, that's how they brought Steve Trevor back?" He was like, "Don't." I was like, "All right, bro, go back to sleep. My bad." And then I couldn't call him no more because it was too late. because I would have called him every 15 minutes. And what? You know, and then on top of that, but then the one thing I did like, because again, Pedro Pascal carried this movie.
He did.
He's been carrying The Mandalorian. He carried this. That dude, man, I got to give him props.
Well, he carried Narcos. If you ever watch Narcos, he carried that. That was when I first had seen him. And then he was in Mandalorian, and I didn't realize that was him in Mandalorian until like the second season, because I didn't when he got hurt at the end of the first season and the robot put the Bactine spray on him. I didn't realize that was him. I didn't recognize him because
I realized it was him. I didn't know until that point.
Yeah.
But my point I'm going to is, so now Max, he realizes the folly. He realizes that mob is going to kill his child, the child that don't look nothing like him. And then he
obviously adopted.
Wait a minute. Before you go, I just got one question. So, ladies and gentlemen, the only way to stop these things is to rescind your wish. So you telling me there is not any selfish person in our world, because what happened was they got everybody in the world to rescind the wish, including him and Barbara. And you're telling me there is not one selfish person that said, I'm not going to rescind shit?
Now, I will say this. He was the one that granted all the wishes. So if
that's what I was going to say. It's like him rescinding his wish would have been more important.
Yeah, that would have caused everybody else.
I don't know about that. Also, how did he get back to this? How did he get back to the city and his kid was on the street? Wasn't this kid in the business?
Because he
ran out.
Okay,
but he rescinded his wish. They're in DC.
Yeah, the kid ran out into the street.
But how did he land? How did he know exactly where the kid was?
Because remember, the lasso of truth.
They happened to be in DC together. I don't know.
No. The lasso of truth was shouldn't. It doesn't. Remember, they also, like I said, they were giving plot lines throughout the whole movie to set the ending. The lasso of truth not only can make you speak the truth, but you can see it. And he was seeing them chase his kid, so he knew where to go.
I swore they landed on the lawn of the White House.
I thought they did too, and I didn't think his offices was in DC. I thought his offices were in like New York or something. So that's why I'm trying to figure out where the kid, how he met back up with his son.
I thought the office was in DC.
I don't know.
Maybe it was.
Oh no, maybe it was because the Smithsonian is there, and
his office was in DC.
But they definitely landed.
And they never went into how Max knew about the stone. How did Max find out about this stone?
Yeah, all they said was like, "Oh, he's been looking for it for a long time."
And he's the only one that's been looking for it?
Right. Like, this should have been some National Treasure type stuff. Everybody going after it.
Mm-hmm.
Even National Treasure did that better. Get it together.
So, I guess, Christina, would you watch it again if you didn't have to for the show?
I mean, it was entertaining. The continuity drove me insane.
Nate?
I got a problem with one thing before we get into that.
Mm-hmm.
He renounced his wish, right?
Yes.
Where the hell the stone?
It went away. Once he renounced his wish, it went away, right?
When he renounced his wish was to be the stone.
Mm-hmm.
When he renounced his wish, stone should have popped back up. Where's the stone?
Maybe he boo-booed it out later.
It was hiding in his digestive system.
He went to the bathroom and was like, oh, I shouldn't have had the Taco Bell. Oh!
That's a big damn stone to pass. That's
Oh, I think I got gallstones. Oh, what is this?
Yeah, gallstone, all right.
I got a kidney stone.
Yeah, football size gallstone. Boy, talk about needing to go to the hospital after. Boy, I'm saying.
So would you watch it again? Say you're just sitting around the house and you're like, I ain't got nothing to watch. Let me put this back on.
Oh, if I had a choice?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
I would watch it if it was just on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm going to specifically go watch this specific movie. No.
if I was sitting at the TV, it's Saturday at 2:30, I ain't got nothing to do, ain't nothing on. There's no counting cars, there's no diners, drive-ins, and dives, and then all of a sudden they just click. You know what I'm saying? I would flip it on if it's already on cable for the empty time. But would I go specifically with my intent to watch this movie and this movie again? No.
So where does it
I would watch
land?
Suicide Squad again before I watch this.
Suicide. I love Suicide Squad.
Yeah, dope.
I like
So,
Suicide.
all right. Out of all the DC movies that's come out since Man of Steel, where does this land as far as pecking order?
Seen all those?
No, because you haven't seen Aquaman. So you haven't seen all.
I'm pretty sure that's the only thing I haven't seen.
See, can I tell you something? When I rank these movies, number one for me is Suicide Squad, followed by number two, which is Man of Steel.
See, Man of Steel was the best one for me because I think they really told they took a different take of Superman of Clark. Yeah. That was, although I really thought his dad, Kevin Costner, was just. But from now on, Jor-El will always be Russell Crowe. I'm sorry, nobody else can play Jor-El now because he just played that to the T.
Russell Crowe.
Again, for me, I mean, they're interchangeable for me. I like Man of Steel. I just like Suicide Squad just a little bit.
Okay.
I enjoyed the humor in Suicide Squad. I also enjoyed the cast of Suicide Squad, so that's another thing.
Yeah, but now they've added so many more to it. It's ridiculous. I mean, they got John Cena and a bunch. I mean, there's so many people in it. It's ridiculous. They got the 12th Doctor in it. Peter Capaldi is in it as the Mad Thinker or one of those. I can't remember who he is.
Just give me another solo Harley Quinn movie, okay? Just
now, see that one. It was better than this, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah, Birds of Prey was definitely better than this. They did badass female characters a lot better in Birds of Prey than they did in this.
Yes, yeah.
For sure.
So where would you rank this, Nate?
Last.
In the DC universe. Dead last. And where would you rank Justice League?
Dead in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the way my thing rolls is.
So where does BVS come in at?
And that's what I was about to say. Hold on. I got Suicide Squad. Then I have
DC?
Suicide Squad. That's what I said.
No, he said BVS.
Batman versus
Superman.
Oh, I was thinking about Blade, and I was like, I thought Blade was Marvel. Anyway.
No, BVS.
So I got Suicide Squad, then right up under it, Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Then Justice League, then Aquaman. And then at that point, I would have to say Harley Quinn, BVS. No, I'm sorry.
I was about to say BVS should be higher than Harley Quinn, I think. At least that's to me. No?
No. And then, but I forgot. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Suicide Squad tie for Man of Steel and the first Wonder Woman. They're the same in my portal. I would read both of them a 2, so I kind of call that a tie. And so I do not like Batman versus Superman. I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of sad.
Why did you say that name? You know, I would have never have thought that both your mothers had the same name. I never even realized that. I never even realized that.
Where is the Dark Knight trilogy just non-existent anymore?
Dark Knight is Chris Nolan's universe. It's not DC universe.
So it's not DC universe.
No. Robert Pattinson, I think, is going to be.
It's going to be continuing that.
DC universe.
So okay.
Yeah, but that's more of a prequel to everything. I mean, that's before anything.
So
and I'm sorry.
Pattinson is continuing Christopher Nolan's universe.
No, there's not going to be a continuation. He ended it with Dark Knight Rises. That was it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And so, I'm sorry. This is dead last, and right above that is Batman versus Superman, and then I'd say Harley Quinn's above that.
Christina,
I
how's your
thoroughly
ranking?
enjoyed Birds of Prey. I thought Prey was.
So, what's your rankings then?
But you also didn't watch Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't watched Aquaman.
Aquaman was good. I'm telling you, gotta watch it.
I'm trying to. I've seen Man of Steel, but that was like forever ago. I remember what happens. Oh, I remember like the main thing I remember is like the entire city being destroyed. That's the main thing I remember. But I remember
the whole thing with the Kryptonian, with Zod learning his powers in like 10 minutes, that was just awesome. Because Zod, he played that role so well.
He's like, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna get my powers, and I'm gonna kick your ass. like that's what happened.
Where did you learn to fight? On a farm?
Okay, my ranking. Yeah, I would put Suicide Squad at number 1. I think the first Wonder Woman would probably go after that.
Right.
Probably Man of Steel after that, and then I would put Batman vs Superman last. Honestly,
really, I guess I'm the only one that didn't mind Batman vs
not
Superman.
that I didn't like it. It's just there were too many issues. They tried too hard for it to be Civil War.
I still think
instead of just making it its own thing.
I still think they made up for. I think Ben Affleck made up for his role in Daredevil in that movie. He did a good job as Batman to me, which I think a lot of people were worried about. And I think he did a fine job. I'm pissed off that he did not get a solo Batman film and he only showed up in like Suicide Squad and BVS and then Justice League. And then, they put everything on hold because of continuity issues and other issues because they tried to ramrod a universe in.
Yeah.
So to me, Man of Steel is on top.
Everything after like what was the last one I said?
Batman vs Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in the middle of that is all like interchangeable, like Justice League, and Aquaman, and all those.
Man of Steel is still my number 1. I'm going to put Aquaman right after that. Suicide Squad is after that. Justice League. I'd say Birds of Prey is after Aquaman, and then Justice League, and then probably BVS. I did like it a lot more than you guys did, but there are continuity issues. Like, seriously, how does he know that all these people are super? How does he know who Superman is? How did he figure out that was Clark Kent? Granted, a lot of people figured out Clark Kent was Superman, and that was one big hole in Man of Steel. Was too many people figured that out too fast. It was just ridiculous how many people figured it out who Superman was. And then Wonder Woman, well, I'm sorry, the first Wonder Woman is probably way up there too. Probably tied up there with Aquaman, because to me Aquaman was visually stunning and then everybody in it was good. I didn't realize that was Amber Heard.
I mean, I want to see it because I really like Jason Momoa, so I'm probably gonna end up watching it anyway.
But I didn't realize that was Amber Heard, so I
just refuse to give it money.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I believe it's on HBO Max, so you could probably watch it.
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah. So, with that being said, so they tried to restart the DC universe again after the superb effort that Aquaman did. And then, they kind of went midway with Birds of Prey. I don't think it did as well as they thought it was going to do. And then with COVID, Wonder Woman 84, and just the plots of Wonder Woman 84, it did not probably do as well as they thought it was going to do. So I don't know how they're going to do with Suicide Squad 2. I think it's going to be a lot not as good. And Will Smith's not in it. So Deadshot's not in it. Somebody else is in it. So they got another black character. Idris is in it. Idris is in it as a different character. I'll send you the trailer.
Really, the only reason I was okay with watching Suicide Squad 2 was Harley Quinn, because Margot Robbie did a kick-ass job. Will Smith and Idris Elba.
Well, Idris Elba's in it. Captain Boomerang's back. Jai Courtney, and Margot Robbie's back because I think she's Harley Quinn for a while.
Oh yeah, no, she's locked in.
But they added John Cena. They added so many extra people to and you sit back and you're gonna go, who is going to be the Slipknot of this movie?
John Cena.
Yeah, he's playing some stupid role. I can't remember what it is, but it's you sit there and you go, why? And Flag is back. Flag is back. The jerk. Captain Flag or whatever his name is.
Do they have another Joker?
No.
Or is he not in this one?
No. And I didn't think Jared Leto did a bad job as Joker. He just took a different take.
Yeah.
And he just took a different take and people just didn't like it. He tried to combine too many things.
The solo Joker movie. I didn't watch that.
That didn't have anything to do with DC Universe. It did, but it didn't. I mean, Bruce was in it.
Kind of like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, it was kind of realistic. I mean, because Joker was psychologically, it was a good movie, but it's not like Birds of Prey or anything like that. It was more psychological, like just the psychology of how he turned into the Joker, basically.
Gotcha.
So with that being said, next week there is no show because I'll be in Vegas. The week after that, I think we might change it up because I don't know if you guys noticed, but WandaVision came out today. And I saw the first 2 episodes, and that is going to be an interesting series. So I think we should take up. Say what?
I need to watch it.
So I think at the end of the month, for our 8th episode, we'll go over WandaVision.
Sounds good.
And we're going to have a lot of stuff, actually. So if we take off with WandaVision, we can actually stay in the Marvel Disney world for a minute because WandaVision is 8 episodes. And right after that, Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out. And then by that time, I think a lot of the Star Wars stuff might be starting back up. I don't know for sure. I don't know what comes out after Falcon. And I think by that time, Black Widow might be out in the theaters. By the time Falcon Winter Soldier ends.
Is Falcon Winter Soldier a show or
yes, on Disney Plus?
Yes,
it's going to be just like WandaVision.
Okay.
And then I think Loki might come out after that. That looks like it's going to be entertaining. And
I'm so excited. I freaking love Loki. Did him dirty and killed him. I'm not happy.
But with that being said, Christina, any shout outs or anything you want to say before we sign off?
No. I want Loki. I want to watch Loki because I love something.
Nothing you want to plug? Maybe your Spotify or anything like that?
Yeah, catch me on Spotify. My name is C Jasmine, like the letter C, and then the flower Jasmine. I'm not doing anything else.
Big Nate, what you got to say before we sign off?
Listen, I just want to tell everybody be safe, be secure. My thought is more about next week. I don't care what side of the aisle you fall on. I just want families to be okay by next Friday. I don't want people to have lost family, friends, or whatever because you've taken this too serious. The bottom line is just take care of your families. Stay safe. Stay out of this. Stay home. Don't wander the streets and don't let these whatever's happening in DC ruin your life in one way or another. We all will get through this. God bless.
We didn't got through a whole lot more than this. And some of y'all might not remember.
I'm tired of living through historic events. Please.
So,
I'd like a calm.
I just want. So I'm gonna sign us off and just say, thank you for joining us. And we're gonna continue to keep growing. And we will see y'all in about 2 weeks.
Peace.
Let me end broadcast.